Hey y'all, it's Brian from Ledger Status. I just wanted to do a video today. It's been a little while since I've done one publicly here on YouTube, but I want to give a wake-up call because it's time to pay attention to crypto. I know a lot of you probably invested maybe at the wrong time, maybe lost some money, maybe you went in over leveraged or made decisions that you regret in some way or another. You bought the top, or you bought right before a breakdown, or you bought altcoins that bled out looking for gains against Bitcoin, and it didn't pan out that way. I understand it. It's easy to do. It's tough to break into a new market and have the right mindset from the get-go. I'm trying to tell you now is the time to pay attention to crypto. Whether we're talking about Bitcoin or altcoins, the interesting thing that we see right now is that it's time to pay attention to all of it. I'm going to show you a couple of charts looking at high time frame stuff to be able to analyze this market and give you the case for why it's time to pay attention and why, in my opinion, you should be, if you're not in, this isn't financial advice, but the way I'm approaching this market is to seek opportunities to buy and get long Bitcoin and then some select altcoins to try to increase the amount of Bitcoin that I have. You may have gotten burned by altcoins before. I get it. However, would you rather buy an altcoin when it's down 95% but still has all the fundamental biased reasons why you liked it, 10x ago? Or would you rather buy it back when you did and it bled out against you with no bid for weeks and months? So here we go. This green line on Bitcoin is the 200-day moving average. Very simply, when you're above it, bullish. When you're below it, bearish. We changed the trend for a while, and then we broke down, and what we've seen here is the price broke back above that 200-day moving average and this 20-day moving average, which is the faster one, which you can use as kind of a dip buying area, a zone to look at to be able to buy these dips so that you're not buying, the gigantic green candles. This is a really, really simple indicator to look at. It's a 20-day moving average and a 200-day moving average. It's the average price over that period, but for Bitcoin and for altcoins alike, it's been extremely effective in analyzing the market, making smart decisions over high time frames, long periods of time. What this is telling you is it's time to get bullish in the market. We had a fake out back here. The thing is, if it goes back below it, you can stop out. You can take your smaller loss, not ride it all the way down. Same thing here. If we break, decisively below 8,800 or something like that, you may want to take your risk back off of the market. But what this is telling us is we should be buying here and really down to about 8,900. If we get something like that, we should be buying it aggressively, and we should seek upside in this market. That's Bitcoin. What's really interesting, and I know a lot of people got super invested in altcoins, and I want to show you why I think altcoins are really showing an incredible amount of potential. I'm going to show you a ticker called BTC.D. This is Bitcoin dominance. So it's the percentage of market cap of Bitcoin relative to altcoins. And what you're seeing when it goes down like this, that is altcoins taking a share of the market from Bitcoin. It was consolidating here after altcoins had made a move. So this going down means altcoins gained relative to Bitcoin. And then it consolidated, and now it's breaking down again. This is a signal by making a new low that dominance is going to continue this trend that really started a couple of months ago. So this has been going on a while, but now we're getting what I would call confirmation of this move, which gives us opportunity for altcoins to do something. If you apply a trend line on this, this is not something that you have to be a genius with, but you draw a line, touch point, touch point, touch point, touch point. This is the altcoin bear market, the move back into Bitcoin. And look, we're failing this line. Now this is a 200-week moving average. We're being rejected by that line. This is what I would call a confirmed weekly breakout of Bitcoin dominance, meaning altcoins are finally looking to catch a bid. Now this indicator counts all altcoins, and while you could try to spread it out, my personal opinion would be to try to seek strength So I'm going to show some big caps. Typically when altcoins move, big caps are going to go first. This is weekly Ethereum. It was lagging and it's having a strong turnaround right now. Going over this 20-week is very bullish. If we go to the daily, I want to show this one with Ethereum because this same concept of showing a 20-day and a 200-day moving average, again, you can have some fake outs, but you know, when you make a decision to use a trend following strategy, you know, you stick to your system and you go with it. And on the whole, you hope to have more winners than losers. What this is showing, Ethereum was really lagging and it's had a breakout today. So now it's telling you to buy dips down to 0.0197, 0.0198. Basically, this is telling you that it's safe to take a long trade on Ethereum relative to Bitcoin. So I showed you that Bitcoin was bullish. So I'm actually confident in Bitcoin not, you know, going down majorly. But what we're also seeing is altcoins gaining relative to Bitcoin. So we're seeing the potential for the market to run together. And we're seeing patterns similar to this of altcoins gaining their 200-day moving average relative to Bitcoin. This goes back to that dominance chart on lots and lots of alts. If I show some other big caps, you can see Litecoin that moved a little ahead of Ethereum. And there are just so many others. We don't have to dig into every single one. They're at different parts of this stage. If you're not trading actively, then you can look at some of the bigger ones that you're interested in. I will show you Tezos. This one had moved already, and it dipped down here. It never got quite down to the 200-day moving average. It looks like it's in no man's land relative to Bitcoin, but what's interesting about Tezos is that it is really strong against the dollar because it's basically making new highs and looking at price discovery potential relative to the dollar. So you can see that high back here. Once it breached 184 or so, you know, that goes back to here. That's a new high for the dollar. And what you often get from something like that is this opportunity for price expansion, price discovery. And, you know, Tezos doesn't have any more history on public exchanges like Bitfinex or Kraken, other than back here in, you know, September of 2018. So what we have an opportunity now is to see where the price can go from here. And the only history is really like futures exchanges and stuff before the token was actually distributed. So this USD pair shows a very clear, super bullish pattern for Tezos that you could dollar cost average into over the course of days. And honestly, my expectation for this one is that it can get to $2.50 or $3 pretty quickly. Now, that's a return that's really hard to mimic in other markets. And I think that'll continue to lift the Bitcoin price as well. It's an example of how to look at that one. I'm even going to show you a couple of coins I do not like. You can see Ripple has not confirmed it. So if I was trying to do this with Ripple XRP, again, I would wait until it makes this move, this cross of something like a 200-day moving average or another long-term trend following system. I use the 200-day moving average because it is very reliable. It's kind of a market standard. Zcash already made this move, and you can see it's marking up. It's the first time Zcash in its life has been above the 200-day moving average. That's why it's important. Monero, very, very prime. It's sitting here right at this congestion zone from what it broke down from, but you can see those trend flips. That's what I'm looking at with Monero. These are really, really strong charts. What we're seeing here is we're not trying to call a bottom. We're not catching a knife, as they say. We're looking at something that's made a higher low, meaning it started to recover, and now there's potential. That's all I really got for you. Just wanted to show you a few samples, but to express that I think it's time to pay attention, whether you've been burned before or whatever else. Now you can pay attention. All right, have a good one.